Welcome back to another video. Today we're moving on to the Elite 8, the final 8 decks left in the Sun and Moon Lost Thunder Gauntlet. Today the number 1 overall seed Zoroark Ninetales, Zoroark Ninetales Decidueye, Zoro taking on Vikavolt Rayquaza. Matchup is we have me over there on the left starting off with, I think I started with Zoroark and, actually I don't know, I can't remember. I think we'll find out soon. Yeah, I started with Zoroark, and Cameron Shinoy over on the right, starting out with Rayquaza, Vikavolt Rayquaza. So, taking a look, setting up here, 3 Pokemon from my side, and they are all Zoras. And I remember thinking out like, oh man, a lot of Zoras, here we go. But I think actually the 3 might be kind of a misplay in Zoroark Ninetales, but we'll see. So Cameron starts off with a bench of a Grubbin and a bench of a Rayquaza blind and hits 2 lightning energies. The Cynthia's a little bit rough, but 2 lightning energies into the discard pile and an attachment. Feels pretty good blind, but no supporter. So it's back over to me now. 3 Zoras onto the bench and still a Lele. And I think that's why this was a little bit of a misplay, because I think I needed that extra bench spot to be... you know, something like an extra Rowlet or an extra Vulpix or something. But we're going to go ahead and grab 2 Vulpix and a Rowlet. Bench both of those. It's going to be an attach retreat into the Vulpix and Beacon to get set up next turn. Also, I think a little bit of a misplay now that we're looking back at these games and seeing how the matchup went. Might have not been optimal there. But back over to Shinoy's turn here. He's holding onto a Nest Ball. We're just going to play it. Likely to either grab the Free Retreater or another Grubbin. Eyeball on the Grubbin and the Free Retreat Zeraora. And we're going to grab the Zeraora. Maybe not. There's the Grubbin. Go for an extra Grubbin, knowing that first turn, Shinoy really didn't play much from the hand. So his deck might not be doing it there. It's going to be an attach. And a Guzma, yeah. So taking the Rowlet as a knockout here. Applying some early pressure. And another Rayquaza hits pretty well there as well. So 4 energies onto the field in 2 turns without a Vikavolt. Remember, it takes 7 energies on the field for Rayquaza to one-shot the 210 HP Pokemon. But instead of taking the knockout, he's going to go ahead and Tempest. Get set up for next turn. Go ahead and throw down both of the Zoroarks that you got from the Beacon. And another trade. And into the Judge. And that's exactly what you wanted to see. If you're me, the Judge here being absolutely huge. Look at the rest of the hand. We have the Ninetales and the counter gain. Remember, Rayquaza is weak to Fairy, so the Ninetales actually becomes pretty huge in this matchup. And it will be the Evolve searching for 2 items. You could, in theory, go into a Decidueye. Ooh, it looks like we're eyeballing a Switch. Get the save the Rowlet. Yeah, it will be Switch and Timer Ball. Main reason being, hey, get the Rowlet out of there, because we only have 1 Rowlet this game, and that math is going to need to, the numbers are going to need to add up pretty well here. The Rare Candy up. And they switch into the Zoroark. And yeah, we're going for all of it. Here's the Ultra Ball. Discarding a Rainbow and Rare Candy. So what that signals is that this Rainbow's not going to go onto the Zoroark. We're going to attach the Double Turbo, the Counter Gain, and the Judge. So you're basically saying, look, I'm going to 2-shot this Rayquaza no matter what. And you were not able to get Rare Candy Grubbin. Spent a turn Tempesting. So the Judge here hopefully sticks. Drawn into 4 fresh cards. Realizing that I still have one of those trades left. I just had put that on there randomly. And it looks like a swing for 120. So you're going to 2-shot the Rayquaza, and then hopefully set up some math with the Feather Arrow. And the thought behind going to the Rayquaza is, look, if he gets return KO, then you can Feather Arrow Snipe and still knock this thing out. So putting the 20 on there basically signals that I have a Guzma in hand. And Shinoy looking at an Ultra Ball and a Vikavolt in the hand, so Ultra Ball getting rid of the Rayquaza and an energy for the Volkner off the Lele. Likely for rare candy and energy. And there is the rare candy. And that's just exactly what you need. Ultra Ball and Vikavolt from the judge to get this return KO. Both these energies likely being slammed down onto the Rayquaza. One to the Delmise. And yeah, the energy attached for turns coming down. Probably onto the Delmise there. Yep, it will be to the Delmise. Going for a one prize thing. A choice band onto the Rayquaza as well. Rayquaza doing Rayquaza things, getting set up. It's now very hard for this to come back. And I think, like I said, the punish here is from the fact that I was not able to get 2 Rowlets down. If you can get 2 Rowlets down, you could have gone ping ping active and returned, and not even return KO, but done stuff onto the Rayquaza. But the Fairy Energy bosses, or Guzma, I should say. And we're debating where to put the snipe, where to take the knockouts. And I say, look, I need to get rid of these energies on the field. You're right. So I should just hit you for 140 here. And hopefully next turn get the double snipe onto the Rayquaza and a knockout. But having this Vikavolt be able to swing every turn is a little rough. So Vikavolt will be able to search the deck. There's an Ultra Ball off the top. He has a Mysterious Treasure as well. Looking at probably just draw some cards here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A Vikavolt will still take a knockout. And so you go ahead and judge. So Vikavolt being able to strong charge 2 more energies. It's knockout on board as long as there's 2 energies in the deck, or at least a grass energy. You actually don't need 3. You need, yeah, you actually need, you still need 2 more attachments. And wow, a rare candy into Vikavolt, into 1 energy attachment. And here's a second strong charge into another energy attachment. So only got 2 grasses. Lightning's likely all gone. There was a lot pitched early. But regardless, it is a return KO. Going to need some rare candy shenanigans. There is a rare candy and a rare candy, or rare candy and an Ultra Ball in the hand, so we can get into the Decidueye. There's at least 1 trade. Really debating the blower over the choice belt, but there's the second trade for the blower. There's the choice belt down. And saying basically like, look, I'm having a 2-shot this thing regardless. I still don't have a DTE. And the DTE is what I'm going to need here. I think I was also looking at maybe doing some sort of Guzma shenanigans. But the double feather arrow will take the knockout on the active at the very least and go down to 2-2 prizes. And looks like there is a Doom Count Rainbow Energy for next turn. So that might be the route. So double feather arrow, still no DCE or DTE or whatever. DCE, that's what it is. And Lily for 2, still not drawing into the required thing. So it's like, you took out both Rayquazas and you might think, hey, look, this feels pretty good. I can go ahead and bench this, anything gets knocked out is a loss anyway. So you might as well set up the Doom Count for next turn. Ultra Ball to thin the deck. No Rayquaza on field, only 3 energies. Yeah, those 2 Vikavolts are scary, but there's a lot of energy in Shinoi's discard pile. But here comes a looks to be Mysterious Treasure for the last Rayquaza. And we already know that Volkner is in the hand there. We saw the Volkner. So it is a Mysterious Treasure for a Rayquaza. And instead of benching it first, yeah, you want a Volkner. So you don't accidentally discard the Recycler. And we're saying, look, you got game on board. Because you discard 3, attach the energy, you recycle in. So that's 4 energy. Attached from hand is 5. I mean, you got double strong charge to boot. So there's no way this game goes any sort of other way. Because there's 5 energies coming back into the deck with Recycler. And double strong charge will get the job done. So Vikavolt getting all the things that Vikavolt needed to get. Some pretty fortunate judge draws. No Marshadow draws or anything, but double Vikavolt and all that fun stuff. Vikavolt goes up. And I think this matchup does sometimes just come down to who swings first. Rayquaza in theory can get more consistent one-shots because all you need to do is get the Vikavolt out and start accelerating energies, and as long as you can continue to do so and keep energies on board, you should just be able to go one-shot, one-shot, one-shot. Where Zoroark can do the one-shot thing, but you need so much more to set up. So it really comes down to these first 3 turns, who can get there faster. And looks to be hard to tell what is in Shinoi's hand, but it is a that's a Vulpix. That's what that thing's called. So draw for turn and double bench of the things, and looks to be an attach for turn and a Cynthia. And we were talking on board and saying, look, this is an insane threat. Last game, I attached and to the active retreated into the Vulpix in order to get my Zoroarks for setup, whereas starting the Vulpix and attaching a Fairy Energy is such a threat against Vikavolt. Because since I started the Ray, what do you do here? My other option was start grubbing, and you don't want to do that either because that's even an easier target, going second, right? If you start the grubbing, can't get out of the active, they evolve into Zoroark and they bop it. Well, if you don't get a second one down, what are you going to do? You're still in the same position. So it's more unlikely that they start Vulpix, attach, and threaten, but that's exactly what Shinoi did here. And so now you're an evolve attach away from just getting knocked out, because the evolve is going to search out the choice belt. You're going to be able to search that out with Alolan Ninetales' ability. So if there's a way that you can save it by retreating, you will. And yeah, it looks like, oh man, I need this choice belt. Want to attach the choice belt. Want to attach these lightning energies. But the attach to the active was just saying, look, I'm probably going to Tempest here, regardless. So you save the choice belt, Ultra Ball for the Marshadow. Take away some of this power here, because you want to Marshadow into Tempest. Hope they don't have the things that they need to have. But what I was mentioning is that, well, the choice belt onto the Zeraora means that you got to draw double colorless energy, because a rainbow energy will put you in one shot of the Zeraora. So another Rayquaza down, accelerating another energy, getting a Grubbin down, and a Tempest. So it's a pretty good turn. Yeah, you got to pitch a couple rare candies there, but you're going into 10. Shinoy needs rainbow energy and Judge and Evolve. But it looks like, yeah, we got ourselves he's got a rainbow energy, an Ultra Ball, and he says, look, I'm just going to pitch the rainbow energy. I don't even care. So when he pitches that, I'm like, okay, you just have it. But instead of going for the Macargo and the Zoroark followed by a Lele. So I said, look, why don't you just grab the Vulpix, like right here, right now? And he's like, because I got smooth over Zoroark Judge from the Lele. So, like, you can still smooth over the energy piece. He still needs the energy or the evolve. If he misses both of those, you can't get both off of the smooth over. But this is such a way to capitalize. Just energy or evolve gets you there. And there's the timer ball and the energy. He doesn't even need to smooth over. Double tails would be rough for him. There's one tails, there's two tails. So you will have to smooth over for the Ninetales at the very least. But the double colorless is in hand already. So it really just doesn't matter. That smooth over trade off of the Judge. Now, if Shinoi misses off the Judge there, and I hit, there's a little bit of a punish, but nah, Zoroark just, with the energy attachment to the Vulpix, puts on such pressure. Because you can just take the knockout now, and it's so hard to return KO off of a Judge. And especially with no rainbow energy coming down. We know the double colorless is in Shinoi's hand. It's going to be very hard to get this return KO. Definitely can't get it on, you kind of have to go into Rayquaza. Rayquaza's got free retreat, but you got to get the 7 energies onto the board. And with the Choice Belt going onto the Zoroark, there's one less Choice Belt in deck. There's an energy gone already. 2 Vikavolts goes you 1, 2, 3, 4. Rayquaza's 5. Attachment turn 6. So you need to bench a Rayquaza, get 2 strong charges off, and you just got judged. So it's very unlikely that's going to happen. There is the knockout. 30 damage going on to the Rayquaza. Bringing up the Zoroark, even though you could have brought the Rayquaza up because it's got free retreat, basically just signals, look, ain't no way that I'm getting a 2 Vikavolts out and this return KO. Why even bother? Looks like I am going to grab Ultra Ball Rare Candy, so at least we got judged into the Vikavolt, so you at least can attack here and deal some damage, but because no Rainbow Energy was committed, 190 or 10 short here. Feels really bad. He really needed that return KO there to at least stay in the game, because Shinoy looks like he's got a Guzma in hand, and if you didn't have a Guzma in hand, you could have at least smoothed over and traded for it. This Ninetales going to take a ton of prizes. Just has everything. Doesn't need to commit anything more. This can be a Guzma switch. Throw the double turbo onto the Zoroark. Yep, and there is a Guzma switch. That's exactly what he put to the top. So there's the trade of a Lele. Switch and a Zoroark, not even needing a second Zora. But there's the boss, the Guzma and the switch to get back into the Ninetales. Gonna go down to 2 prizes. Sure, this Ninetales goes down to 20, but you really don't care. The 60 damage onto the Zeraora is also going to signal Zoroark double with the color, with the choice band. It's just over. There's no real coming back from this. The game boils down to the turn 1 attached to the Vulpix. Ends up putting such a threat on. So I'm sitting here thinking about my first game, and when I attach retreated into the Vulpix to evolve, it's like, well, I could have just attached to the Vulpix. And then when you evolve, you can still get the switch choice belt. So maybe that was a little bit of an error on my play turn 1, but this hand really ain't going to do it. Looks like we're going to use Grubbin to take the knockout. And I'm looking at Delmise like, man, I could have done Delmise at the very least, because then Zoroark needs still one more piece. Zoroark still needs the Devoured Field or the Decidueye to return KO. But this is cooler. You're going to take the 20 damage knockout. And the promotion of the Zora looks to be a trade number 1 into, wow, just Rare Candy DCE, which is all you need for the extra damage to the Zeraora. But it says, look, I don't know if I can actually hit that. So it will be a smooth over. Likely put double turbo and just attacking the Grubbin. And I was saying, look, you probably could have won this turn, but no, just taking the Grubbin, playing it slow, you really don't care. You know that it's going to be insanely hard for a return KO onto the Zoroark, so you can just take it slow. And knock this Grubbin out, and there's a little bit of hope, I suppose, but not much. You can get a Rayquaza down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is a way you can get return KO, but it's unlikely. So here's the Rayquaza hitting bad things. So you get the energy attachment. You have a Recycler, retreat. It's like, look, I got the knockout, but I think you just have return KO is what I said, and yeah, it just shows me the Guzma and smooth over for the double turbo. So we're going to a game 3 between Zoroark Ninetales Decidueye and Vikavolt Rayquaza. The early energy attachment to the Vulpix and the active, just too good to overcome. Ninetales kind of just shreds through all of Vikavolt. So Vikavolt doing Vikavolt things sometimes, combined with the fact that you're weak to Fairy, makes Ninetales just kind of shred through you. So shuffling up, we'll see what we can start here. looking to at least get maybe that, you know, that Ninetales being a pivotal part of this matchup, getting set up. Shinoy looking at a Lele start, the first real not great starter of the match. And draws into Vikavolt. He was saying out loud that his hand was so bad, and I was like, oh, is this just a draw pass angle? Is this what we got? So at least there's an attachment, and looks to be considering a Volkner, considering Ultra Ball. He's got Mysterious Treasure, so it's not as bad. Starting the Lele hurts, but need a Grubbin down. So here's the Mysterious Treasure for the Rayquaza. So you're hoping to maybe attach an energy or something. We'll see. Yeah, Rare Candy gone is a little bit of a rough thing, but you know, with so many Volkners and everything, you're going to draw into it. Really debating here. We'll play the Volkner. We'll grab a Lightning Energy and the Mysterious Treasure and discard it away for the Marshadow. So what I said out loud, that I think there is some debate to grabbing Nest Ball for the Grubbin, and the Ultra Ball could have grabbed something else other than Rayquaza, but Cameron said, no, my hand was absolutely dead. So I said, look, if you miss Grubbin here, we're going to punish. But of course, Shinoy, well, it looks like he still has at least a little bit of chance. So we're going to hit the Rayquaza. There's another Rare Candy gone and a Grubbin gone. But it didn't matter because he had Rescue Stretcher all planned. That hand was a Delmise and an Energy and a Rescue Stretcher, and he managed to wins away a Grubbin to get the Grubbin down turn 1 off of the Marshadow. My response is a Lily and an attach onto the Vulpix. This time not attach, retreating, and beaconing, but just attaching. Keeping my play from game 1 a little bit different. And so here's the retreat, attach a Grass Energy, Rescue Stretcher, a Delmise back into the deck, and it will just be a Tempest GX to draw up to 10. And we'll see what the response on my side is. I think there is a judge in that hand, it looks like, so at least there can be a judge. There's also an Acerola, but here's the Ninetales. So if you have the energy in hand, it's just switch Choice Belt. Which, again, goes back to this putting into a body bag. Here's a Timer Ball, actually. And the switch. Oh, maybe not Timer Ball. Looking at the hand again, there's a way you could get into it. So here comes the switch, and yep, so it will be switch Timer Ball. And saying, look, if this is double heads, I just have it. And it's double heads, and that gives you the Macargo and the trade. So the Choice Belt must already be in hand, because you would have tried to grab that otherwise. And looks to be playing, it's going to be playing the switch. I committed to this play. So there's a switch. Yeah, the Choice Band's already in hand. And a Cynthia, not a judge. So Shinoy gets to keep his Tempest hand, which is all fine and dandy, but this Rayquaza is going down. So we'll see. Not a real great way to return KO, though, but there's just everything. And so now what do you smooth over for? I think there was conversation about prepping something for next turn, maybe a Rare Candy for next turn, but we said out, Shinoy just said, look, dude, you're going to want a second Zoro right here. And I was thinking, like, well, maybe you leave the bench spot open for a Lele if there's no return KO, because it doesn't look like there's going to be a return KO. But regardless, an extra Zoro down. And it's a knockout and throwing 30 probably to... And I was thinking out loud, I was like, man, do I just, like, greed the Grubbin here? But no, the 30 damage to the Rayquaza to help if some miraculous reason Shinoy gets a return KO. which is possible because you can Vikavolt 2, attach from hand is 4. Choice Belt, no, actually it's not possible. You would need 2 Rayquazas, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Choice Belt. Yeah, you couldn't get there without another Rayquaza. So the return KO is just like not going to happen. Ninetales proving to be absolutely man with this matchup, and he Tempested into not a great hand. There's a couple Guzmas clogging that hand up, but it will be just a Volcaner for the supporter, even though you already have the Ray. And no real other threat, so grabbing a Nest Ball from the Volcaner. Not exactly what you want to see. But it will be a Nest Ball for a Grubbin, so that signals that this game might actually just be over. A strong charge will happen, and with no return, yeah, with the Rayquaza not being able to return the knockout, this is just going to be a attack for 120. That's just probably going to do it. The Ninetales is in the active. If you get the rare candy and the Decidueye, which is in the hand, you can take 3 prizes this turn and then double ping the Marshadow twice and kind of just put the game out of reach on board. Not that it was already out of reach, but yeah, this is a little rough because yeah, then even the double colorless to boot. You can ping the Grubbin twice for 40 and take 3 prizes here. And then it really doesn't matter what Shinoy does because you can just double ping the Marshadow twice. Even if he gets a return KO, you double ping. Shinoy Marcus gets another KO sometime, like somehow. If it's not a Decidueye, you just double ping again. And you're always worried about boss. You have smooth over. It's literally just over. Absolutely no way for Shinoy to win. We were talking about like, oh man, maybe you can bring Vikavolt up and take a hit or something. That's what I was saying. I was like, why wouldn't you just swing with Lele here? And I would need so many pieces to return KO. And what if they're both prized? And blah, 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 blah. Because the thing about the Delmise is this game is just on board with double ping and attack. So you'd have to attack with Lele. But regardless, it's pretty much over because the smooth over is going to grab the piece that you need anyway. You'd grab the Choice Belt. You'd grab the Devoured Field. A lot of other things. Like even the Evil Tall. So regardless, number 1 Zoroark escaping a scary start, losing game 1 but coming back and or having to go to a game 3, I should say. So thank you guys for watching. Zoroark into the final 4. We'll see you next time.